All right, welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I'm here to talk to you guys about Liudvik Sholinian versus Johnny Munoz Jr. Liudvik Sholinian is a plus 185 underdog. He is an Ultimate Fighter alumni from the last season whatever the fuck, when Ricky Tercios won. Ricky Tercios ironically beat him in the semifinals. I don't know how ironic that is, but Ricky Tercios beat him in a war. It was a 3-round war. Liudvik Sholinian won round 2 with grappling, but was largely outgunned on his feet and still threw down. He made it a war and didn't accept defeat. And even though he clearly lost, it was a great performance and a losing effort. And before that, in the first round of the tournament, he beat Mitch Raposo on the Ultimate Fighter, and Mitch was supposed to beat him. I don't know the odds. There were no odds or whatever, but you can tell from the production team, I guess, that clearly manipulated my mind into thinking Mitch Raposo was supposed to win. But no, he was. He was supposed to win, and it was an upset. Sholinian outlasted him. He outworked him. I feel like that's the case with a lot of Sholinian fights moving forward and probably in the past, where he's been at an athletic disadvantage. And, he's the guy where on the flip side of that coin, the athleticism there, he's got good cardio because he doesn't have to feed muscles like Sean Shirk or whatever. And he's also got tenacity and heart and every other trait you could have. He's shown it in the few fights of his I've seen. And especially in that Jack Shore fight, which that's where he made his debut on short notice. He was just outgunned the whole way, got his ass kicked, almost finished in round 1. Or not really, but he was put in a bad spot, taken down, mounted, put in an arm triangle, and he survived. He always survives. And that's what's got me doubting my Johnny Munoz via submission, round 1, round 2 bets, which I did bet on because Johnny Munoz, the thing with him that separates him from even guys like Jack Shore is his athleticism. He's a bigger, stronger athlete. I think, I think he's an inch shorter than Sholinian, but I expect Munoz to be faster and stronger. And he's a much better grappler. I mean, the gap in skill in any realm is its biggest on the ground. And that's with Johnny Munoz being better than Sholinian, specifically with submissions, submission grappling. His wrestling, Johnny Munoz Jr. may not have the best wrestling, but he's got good wrestling, and what makes it great is his relentlessness. If you don't believe me, go watch him fight Nate Maness. Don't watch that fight. It's just a fucking low blow fest. But still, Johnny Munoz Jr. doesn't stop, and he's going to insist on making this a grappling fight, and I do think he'll be able to get it there early with the athletic disadvantage that Sholinian has. And from there, it's a matter of what he does. If he burns himself out, that's the wrong move against a guy like Sholinian, letting that guy into the fight, because, again, with all of his traits, he's going to be there in round 3. But Munoz Jr., I still think he's the right pick to win the fight, because if he goes all in, he's got a good chance of getting a submission, even though Sholinian's never been finished in his professional fights, amateur or exhibition fights. But if Munoz manages his energy and, conserves a little and tries to fight for the decision because he realizes he's fighting a guy that he can't submit, I still think he's got that grappling advantage throughout the whole way where it's enough for me to count on him winning the fight. So my prediction, if I had to go one way or the other, I'd go Munoz wins a decision, but I'm not betting on that. I'm betting on submission, round 1, round 2. I just think, if he gets Sholinian down where he's got some time to work, kind of like Shore did, Jack Shore in round 1, I think Munoz Jr. with his athleticism and strength will be in a much better position to finish Sholinian where no one else has. So plus 850 for submission round 1, plus 1100 for submission round 2, a little sprinkle on each. I didn't want to bet on my prediction, Johnny Munoz Jr. via decision, because it's plus 125, and I just can't trust that, especially with the type of fighter Sholinian is, and also Munoz's submission prowess. So I just don't trust that. And Sholinian, I would have bet on if his decision line was more enticing, but it's not. It's plus 225. You may as well bet on his money line at plus 185. But I'm not going to do that because I don't think he's going to win. So I'm going with Johnny Munoz Jr. We'll see what happens. Like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit. And don't forget to check out my other videos.